Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. Wakey,
Hello.
wakey. How you doing, Matt?
Oh, I'm super. How are you?
Yeah, sleep deprived and
Sleep deprived?
it's going well. Kids,
Yeah, that's
don't have them. Nobody.
Yeah,
Bad idea.
back in his 20s, it was sleep deprived from playing games all night, and now it's just sleep deprived in his 30s from crying kids.
Yeah. Hell, I even bumped into. So I took the kids down to the supermarket very brief. They're sick. They're tired. They're having bad sleeps. Everything. But I had a little chance to take them out today. I just took them down to the Coles to get some groceries and stuff for the week ahead. Bumped into some of my year 12s of this year that morning. Won't be naming names, but bumped into a few of them. This is, I don't know, 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. And they're real dusty. Like they've just come off clearly some 18ths, and I'm like, oh jeez. I wish I was even just exhausted for that reason.
Man.
Like, can I,
Those are the days.
yeah. So how you going? Oh, we had a big one. Like, firstly, little bit piss poor because I think if it was us, I don't want to pull it back in my day, but if it was us, I don't know if we would have been right to go even by 3 o'clock. So,
Well, in the afternoon?
yeah.
Oh, no, probably not.
Or there might have been that one person who was dialing it back a little bit because they needed to go somewhere the next day who might have dropped you home and then you're already home sleeping.
I have to drive, or I've got to drive here
Whether you had
tomorrow.
a designated driver or whether it was whatever the case happened to be. You had a way to get home by that point, but you were never in a good state. And they were doing, like, they recognised me the next day.
Yeah, I don't think they're
much.
drinking enough. If that's the case, if they can remember you or
I'm not say
anyone,
because I could lose my job for that comment. But
well, I'll sure take that comment because I won't get fired.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose. So anyway, enough about teenage and possibly in some of these cases.
Teeter? We know Teeter. Who's Teeter?
No, teenage,
teenage
and
dirtbags.
Potentially underage. I don't know if I'm sure not all. I'm sure if I think about it, not all of them would have been 18. I'm sure. I don't know.
Year 12s. We're in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
There's half of them that won't be. So,
in Paul's statistics, that there's a 50% chance that they could be, and could not be.
Yeah.
The 50-50.
All the while too, by the way, they're like dusty and in a horrible sort of state, and I've got my two kids sitting in a Coles trolley at the same time, just trying to. Like, my kids are barely slept, and they're still looked in.
I was going to say, who looked worse, the kids or the other?
My two, I reckon. That's how pathetic they were. But anyway, moving on from that, it's patched updates time. Talk about all that we've been playing. And unlike last month, I've actually got some games to talk about. But Matto, kick things off for us. What have you been up to?
Well, I've still got some games, surprisingly, because there was, for the entire month, one game that pretty much ruled my entire month. It wasn't Lord of the Rings. It was of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because we were talking about this last week where I completed the game. It took me a grand total of 102 hours. That's not even... Well, it's on Xbox, so there's no platinum, but that's not getting all this stupid achievements.
No, that wouldn't even be close to getting everything.
Oh, I don't want to know. Pretty much when I finished it, uninstalled. I didn't want to go keep playing it and doing all those pointless side missions or collecting stuff or any of that. And I thought, you know what? When I get to the final part of it, get out of it, save, go back to the menu, uninstall. And that's what I did.
Get that shit out of my life.
Get out of life. And it's really weird now because I uninstalled that. I've had plenty of time to do stuff this week, which is weird. Just going, I don't have to play Assassin's Creed this week. It's great.
And so all the other games, like you said before the show, you got 6 games to talk about. The other 5 were all played this week, I'm guessing.
Yes. Some of it, yes. There's other parts where I did play it at the start of the month and I thought, I'll play Assassin's Creed, which was a stupid idea, to be honest. It was a silly idea. I never got back to it, unfortunately. But now Assassin's Creed Valhalla is now done, and I won't be playing it anymore.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It opens up a lot of time for other stuff, which I assume would include Resident Evil 2, considering we were talking about that last month.
Yes, and we shall move on to that one next then, since you've brought it up.
Segued you.
Segued me into it, because I am doing we haven't come up with a name for it yet, as we always do.
Not as incredible as Sean has the plague, a Plague Tale Innocence playthrough. Congratulations. I can't even remember who it was in the Player 2 chat that just suggested that as a name. I'm like, great.
I think it was Matt. I think it was our lead, chief tribal leader, Matt Houston.
Yeah, possibly.
Because I'm pretty sure there's only 4 of us in that group anyway, or there might be a 5th
Oh no,
one.
no. I was it in the video chat. I thought it was in the. Oh well, yeah, okay.
It was
Maybe it was that.
yeah, it was in our secret little
Player 2
video
video
chat, Player 2 video chat. Yeah, so that will be the next one. So we're going from plague-infested rats to plague-infested zombies.
Police stations.
We just need some other infested game to go after that.
The Last
Gears
of Us
of
coming
War.
out.
Gears of War. Or Last of Us, actually. There we go.
Yeah. Plague-infested planet.
So we can go with Last of Us, Gears of War.
Jeez, I'd love to do a full Gears playthrough at some point.
Or maybe we can both do it together. You do one, I do another one, then you do one.
Yeah.
The only question is who gets 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, who gets the best one? Yeah.
It's the fight for 2.
To be fair, if you miss that, like 3's still pretty awesome. So you're not going to listen.
And there's 5. There's also 5 as well.
Yeah, whoever gets. Yeah, look, actually, it's a decent sort of thing because it's 1, 3, and 5 versus 2, 4, and Judgment. Maybe.
Unless you want to just take Judgment out of it and say, let's not worry about that.
I don't know. Or Tactics.
Or Tactics, yeah. But that's for something for later on. So,
yeah,
it's the start of the second of the plague-ridden playthroughs. So the second one will be Resident Evil 2. And I didn't shoot off Mr. X's hat, and he didn't have a hat anymore, so I was really upset about that. I was devastated. I saw him again, he's got no hat on. I was like, oh man, I was going to shoot that hat off too.
It's called ready persistence, for it. Mate.
What's that?
It's called persistence. You make one change, and that's it. It's like leaving a door open in Skyrim. That door's always going to be open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was history. Like that was the whole issue with the PS3 version of Skyrim, and the way save games and memory was kind of stored on the PS3 is they had such a limited amount of space on that for the particular way that they were trying to save things that a game like Skyrim and even Fallout 3 kind of broke it because everything was meant to linger on. So every time you go somewhere and you make a change or you move something or you open a door and leave it that way, that's just another thing that added to the size of the save game, and it got so bloated that basically just broke the game.
Whoa. The game got broken because of one open door.
Or 1,000
that is
open doors.
amazing.
Yeah. As you kept adding to it, things got worse and worse.
It's like dead bodies everywhere, like in Fallout. You go, oh yeah, I shot that guy in the head once, and they're still there. They haven't moved. Good old Bethesda out there, old tricks. But I don't know if I've nearly finished it yet. I got no idea. I keep thinking I'm near it, and then I get distracted and go completely the opposite way. I'm in the sewers. I'm in the sewers at the moment, just digging around. So I don't know how far I'm off, but
you're not a crazy amount away, but you've still got a few hours, maybe.
Oh, really?
3, if I remember.
Oh, well, there you go. But
if I remember that right in my head, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got plenty of time now, so I can finish that off in no time. Yeah. Which would be great. And then on to my next one, which I also did a video for.
Oh,
last month.
Here's one that we can kind of both wax about.
Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
How's it going? Because I suppose you were completely consumed by Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I've still, unfortunately, and not for lack of trying, but barely played it yet.
Oh, you're missing out on the brand new town of Elgato. It's not called Elgato.
it's green screens everywhere.
It almost sounds exactly the same as Elgato. I think it's Elgato or something, but I just keep calling it Elgato.
I can't remember how it was. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a D instead of a G at the end, but I just keep saying it. But I don't mind it. It's the same. I don't know. It's the same story. It feels like the same story as Monster Hunter Rise. It's like, there's monsters destroying the ecosystem.
Kill them.
Go hunt it down. Okay. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Don't know if there's something going on or what. It's just, hey, you.
Just kill him. Don't ask questions.
Listen to the Grandmaster. If he says kill it, you kill it. No questions asked.
Yeah, we're kind of assassins, really.
Yeah, just do what we're told.
I can get around it.
Unless you go rogue, and then you're in trouble. But that's never going to happen because you got nowhere to go.
Yeah, you also never finish the game. All you can do is kill monsters. That's it.
Yeah, nothing more.
You can be a pacifist all you like, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
No. All you do is attack a giant crab, which is a pain in the ass.
As we all learned
crab.
from your player 2 plays.
Yep. And then, oh man, I don't even want to talk about the crab. To be honest, it gives me nightmares. But
have you been doing the game in any like online co-op at all? You know, whether you're just jumping into other people's games or firing SOS and getting people to join yours.
Oh no, I always have the open whatever it is. So when you go to hunt a monster or anything, you can always say like keep it open for other people to come in. So I just do that because I get more money if I do that. But sometimes I do jump in as well.
Yep.
But it's just because I want the cutscenes of the monsters, even though they do absolutely nothing. But I just think I'll just get the cutscene because I just jump into one and go, "What the hell is that thing?" Like a baboon-looking monster. I had no idea what that was.
Shit.
I think it blows fire.
Rajang?
Yes, that's the one. I mean, for me, somebody who plays Monster Hunter has no idea about what any of the monsters are called.
Oh, look, the names are a bit complicated.
Yeah, I just go with really simple things like fire-breathing T-Rex and...
Anjanath.
Oh, Diablo. I know the Diablo.
Oh, yeah, Diablos. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the closest one that's kind of familiar. Yeah.
Yes, that's the only one. And that's really it.
That's fair.
But I haven't gone much further in sort of after the crap, because I know you got new ranks and everything in Monster Hunter Rise. I'm only onto the... I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Master Rank now. I'm only on Master Rank 2. Because I keep going back trying to...
Yeah, I'm only 2 or 3.
Trying to hunt other monsters because I killed the crab. I got a lovely new dual weapon look now.
Nice.
It is very nice.
That is one of the cool aspects, kind of the fast swap between different weapons and those sorts of things they've introduced now. That's a pretty cool system going on.
It is.
I'm a big fan of that.
There's a lot of good things they've done. There's a lot of good things they've done.
It's those small quality of life things, and like that one in particular is kind of, and we spoke about it in the case of World, and even with like the core of Rise. Like I'm a hammer wheeler. That's it. I don't think twice. I just pick that. Like I go straight down that hammer path straight away. But the fact that I've got this second option, I don't have to ignore the hammer at the same time, has at least prompted me to try stuff out, which is kind of cool. Like maybe as a result, I'll find something that I actually like in the future. We'll see how we go. But I like the fact they're bringing in there, and of course there's different monsters that, like being able to sever their tail versus, kind of the blunt damage of a hammer is kind of important. So being able to have that ability to swap is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just saying I'm trying out different weapons too, and I just keep going back for the dual blades. It just feels wrong. I go from being like a super quick weapon to something slow. Not slow, but more powerful. But I think it's just the slowness that sort of gets me.
See, I'm the opposite, because like the slow thing, especially because of a game like Monster Hunter, like you kind of have to think through. Like you can bite off too much and potentially.
I've got that a lot of times. Like you keep pressing button mash, and then all of a sudden it goes to swing your tail, and you can't dodge because you pressed the button about 400 times, and you can't roll out of the way and get whacked.
Yeah,
which I do a lot.
Yeah, it can still happen with like the slower attacks, but because they take longer to execute, it forces me to kind of cool my jets, because I'm like, I can mash this all I want, but it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to be able to drop the next hit, so I kind of pace myself a bit more, which does mean that I think I'm in a position to react a bit faster, whereas I would totally fall into that trap of just mashing and bashing if I was constantly using a faster moving weapon.
Yeah, I highly recommend not doing it. I've sort of started to learn now, because when you come up against tougher monsters, it doesn't go well.
Okay, fair.
When your armor's very low, and I was an idiot looking at all the cool weapons I can get and upgrade, and completely ignoring my armor, which was the reason why I was getting absolutely flogged by some monsters. I was like, how is this so hard? I looked at my armor, then went to the higher rank armor, like, wow, no wonder
did you just farm that crab a bit, so you had yourself something that was like master.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was. And then I went and looked at it and went, oh man, like the new armor's like 100 times better than this. I was like,
yeah,
you're an idiot. But it's also cool too. You can actually change the look of your armor, but not change it.
Yeah, the that's also cool.
That's what I like to do, because you wear something, it's like, yeah, it's high armor, but I look like a dickhead. And or it just looked horrible. Going, I don't want to wear that.
I've just gone blank on the actual term. Like transmog is the overall sort of thing that they use across all games, but I've gone
It's
blank on
like
what they
layer armor or
layered
something.
armor. Yeah, that's it.
Layered armor. Yeah, so that is a good. I do like that. If you just want to look cool,
You can do
but
it.
don't want to wear that armor, you can.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Then moving on to the next game, with the one that used to have the silly name we always used to make fun of.
Chorves.
Jaws.
You've been
The
playing
spaceship
Chorves.
game.
Nice.
It was on Games Pass, and I thought, oh,
Yeah,
I'll give
true.
this
Good
silly game game a go.
I have
No,
downloaded it for the same reason that it's free. So one of these days, Chorves.
Yeah, Chorves.
Maybe next month, so we can have back-to-back Chorves months.
Oh god, I might actually finish Chorves if I can get around to it. I actually didn't know it was done by what, Deep Silver? It is Deep Silver. Is it the game company? Ones that have owned Saints Row now.
I didn't. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize Chorves was one of theirs. I've forgotten now.
I didn't realize that either. Like, oh, this is a bit different.
Except, didn't they ultimately just rename it Chorus in the end? No, no, that's right. We're going to stick with Chorves just to upset them.
Yeah, just upset. It is called Chorus, but we'll just call it Chorves because we always used to laugh at it like, oh, it looks great, but it's got a stupid name.
Yeah. So, what do you think? It's like space combat or something, isn't it?
It's space combat. You don't ever get out of the spaceship. It's...
Yeah.
I don't know. I sort of feel like there's better spaceship shooting games like Rogue Squadron.
Right.
That's like a 20-year-old game.
Was it Star Wars? Was it just Rogue, the one for PS4 a couple of years ago?
I think it was.
Camera to have a peek.
Possibly. I know the one you're talking about, where it was sort of the old upgrade from X-Wing versus TIE Fighter style game.
No,
I'll go with Rogue. Rogue sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Sounds right. But I haven't gone that far into it. But at the moment, it's not really wowing me at the moment.
Yeah,
but
right. Maybe we'll get there.
It might turn around, but I don't know about that. But we never know. Maybe because I'm just getting distracted, just flying around. It does look good. Don't get me wrong, it looks great, and the controls are good as well. But at the moment, hasn't been much excitement yet.
Okay, well, maybe.
But I might have only scratched the surface on the game so far too. But I will discuss it more next month because you know what? Because I have plenty of time now because I finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I've got heaps of time on my hands
now. Month that you could spend elsewhere.
Yeah, I could play that. I don't think it's a very long game anyway. I could play that 10 times. It still wouldn't be as long as Valhalla.
Yeah, I took a look while we were chatting about Chorves. According to How Long to Beat, it's 13 hours. So you could almost do it. Yeah, you could do it 9 times.
9 times. Oh, there you go. Next game is I don't know if it's an indie game, but it's a smaller game. It's about I don't know. You could probably play Assassin's Creed Valhalla 20 times to fit, or I could play this 20 times. The equivalent of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's a game called Road 96.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a little adventure game where you are a teenager, multiple ones, and you cross paths with like 7 different characters, and they all do different stuff. And you sort of talk to them, do this, do that. And the end result is you got to cross the border. That's the game. And there's 3 ways it can happen. You either get arrested, you go over the border, or you die.
That's, I guess, nice, clear-cut boundaries on the whole experience.
It is. It's sort of different. I don't know how you say it. It's a bit weird. So you got no money, or you got energy, whatever, and you sort of just go try and get to the border without losing your energy, so you can find like chocolate bars or drinks or food and all that, or go to sleep, find a nice sleeping spot, or just get shot, which I did multiple times.
I'll take the sleeping spot at the moment.
Yeah, you would.
Give me a sleeping
bit of
spot.
cardboard.
There's almost the temptation to just try and curl up under my desk at the moment, except I've got a new boss starting in a week, so I can't be doing that. Actually, no. That gives me 1 week to sleep under my desk.
Oh man,
a
new boss. What?
Just within my office. Just within my office.
Oh, I was to say in that shed. Like, who's your new boss in that shed?
Oh, the wife is the boss of this joint. Whatever. Oh, yeah, right. I can sleep under this. It's just this.
That's what I thought you were talking about for a second. I thought, just talk whilst we're just talking there.
Oh, apparently I upset some spiders smashing on the ground there. Good.
Oh no!
Fuckers.
Don't let Peter hear about that. They'll be all over you.
I said I
Squashing.
upset them. I didn't squash them.
Oh, you did say squash him. You said
No,
upset
I think I stirred them up though.
Disturb them. Oh no!
There is a can of Aerogard down here though, so maybe I'll just like spray them so much that they'll just hate themselves and kind of explode as a result. Because it's not fly spray, but they hate it.
Just say, do spiders do that? Do they just explode?
No, but like, I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like,
I say, is this a spider we don't know about?
I mean, it'd be kind of cool.
The
There's lots of spiders that pop in video games.
They do.
Yeah, so
They
let's
really
go with that.
do.
It's a video game spider in my shed,
Video game spider.
which means
Oh,
it's
there.
like 10 foot tall and has a health bar above its head.
And then when it blows up, it just has a damage number at the just
Yeah,
float
I
out.
can get around that. Borderlands
And-
style.
All right, yes. And then finally, my final game, because we were talking about this last week. And I thought maybe I'll go back, give it a go, and just
Last
see does it still hold up. And that was Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Because you hadn't had enough Assassin's Creed.
no, because I thought because we were talking about it, I thought I'll just give it a go and see how it is compared to Valhalla. Well, I had the Ezio collection,
Yep.
and my God, what have they done with their eyeballs? They freak me out.
The way they used to be.
Yeah, the way they look, they just like it's like they don't blink. They just like do this and just, hey Desmond.
That was
Come
the
over here.
power of the PS4 and PS5
like,
and
what
Xbox
the-
One and Series X.
what the
that's,
hell?
they improved it.
I swear Desmond had a lazy eye at one stage. His one eye just going down here. Like I don't remember Desmond looking like that. It's scaring me.
Maybe it's weird emulation stuff. Because I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember wonky eyes. I certainly remember like you get some weird things where they don't blink quite right because they
Yeah.
haven't invested in the motion capture
Like they
the right
don't have
way yet. But
soul.
that seems like a whole other layer. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
But we were talking about it last week with the first Assassin's Creed, where I was just having a nice casual walk around the street, and then some people like little indicator bars come up, and then they just straight up chase you, and about 20 other people come chasing you. Like, oh man, I've got to find a hiding spot. So the panic just grows, and oh man, I completely forgot about it. It's just like, oh, I remember this now. But the one thing I will say they improved on is the whole jumping. Oh man.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot about the days when you thought, okay, I want to jump over this way, but for some reason you just jump to the right and then die. Like you go, oh, there's a haystack there. I'll jump in that. Oh no, you're going to completely miss that. Just land on the ground. Like, oh man, I'm not going to miss this. I do not miss this whatsoever. But to the question of does it hold up well, I'm going to say yes.
All
I'm
right.
already more entertained by it than I was with like the first 2 hours of Valhalla. I was like, well, maybe because I know what's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to happen. But man, all I can say is the combat is way too easy. You don't even have to fight them. All you have to do is just counter them. Dead. Done.
Yeah, it was just a timing gig.
Yeah, that's I think because I think with all the timing these days, you have to be pretty spot on. Like you got like a small window of opportunity. This one, there's a massive gap.
Yeah, the
Like when there's about to swing,
emphasis
like
on
oh yeah,
parrying
like,
since Dark Souls
yeah.
was become big.
yeah, it's like oh yeah, he's about to swing, block, there, done. See you later. Next one, same again. I could just play the entire game without even hitting anyone. Just counter every person with ease. Unless I come up against
You're
them
tempting
more.
me to go back now because I missed that.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I've only played like an hour and a half of it. I'm already more entertained by it than most other Assassin's Creed games.
I mean,
Because you're not
2
having
was awesome.
to play it for like 4 hours and then it just says Ubisoft presents Assassin's Creed blah blah blah. Thinking really,
You
like,
actually
you couldn't
cut,
just
cut
do
to
that at
the
the
chase somewhat
start?
quickly. Yeah.
and then saw my old pal Sean again, and I realised how big of a dick he was back then. Oh man, it's like I just want to punch you in the head.
I love that we've gone back to the Sean thing again already.
I know he's so much more calm in Valhalla. I don't know what happened to him. I was like, you weren't like this, Sean.
Changed his meds.
He went from being a dick to guy serving coffee to just being a calm dude.
Yeah, really placid. He's on some good meds these days. It's just
Must
helped
be.
take the edge off.
Or maybe he got off the meds. We don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe the meds were the problem.
Yeah, we never know. We will never
He's
know.
the next Assassin's Creed book. It's the
Book?
subject of like Sean can be the focus. Yeah, book because there's plenty of books out there.
Oh, it's his memoirs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll even better. Yeah, it could be his memoir. Oh,
2 sugars, please.
yeah, that whole chapter's a really dull part of his life.
I'm I'm that dude in the coffee shop.
He just like you straight up get turned to that chapter and he says, "Look, just skip to page 400."
Just skip that part. Just go to the part where we talk about England.
Yeah,
And that's all you need.
good stuff. Well, we were saying beforehand that I only had like 4 games that I'd played, and I've actually realised that I've got 8.
Oh wow, that's gone up.
Yeah,
Skyrocketed.
I kind of
That was,
looked.
you had 3 last month. I remember that. It's like, oh, I got 3. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked at my trophy list, and one of them, like, there was a timestamp from June, so I was like, oh, okay, that must have been, I must have played that in June, and then just looked at everything from that point onwards. But it's a game that I've kind of revisited along the way, like that I came back to in July. So kind of there's a timestamp for trophies later on, and that's just kind of messed me up. So I might even just go through from the top. Shadow Warrior 3 I picked up because when the PlayStation Plus Essential Extra Deluxe, the new tiers kind of started, that was a PlayStation Now freebie giveaway, but of course we didn't have PlayStation Now, so we never had access to it at all before. Even though like PS4 and PS5 games you could still download locally because it was tied to the Now thing, we were still unable to get it here. But now that Essentials rolled out and Now has kind of been bundled into it, the game was suddenly accessible out here, even though you didn't have to stream it still. But there was also only like, after that service started, there was only 4 or 5 days I think that it was still left available before it was scheduled to disappear off the surface. You know, like any game leaving Game Pass. So I quickly pounced on that because I knew it was a shorter game, and I'd heard it was decent enough. There's plenty of Doom 2016 and Eternal about the whole thing, but just a step down in almost every way. But it was still good enough fun. It's got a quirky, stupid sense of humor that got a few laughs, and it took me 5 or 6 hours to do. So why not?
Let's say that's sort of like the old id days of Duke Nukem, Shadow Warrior.
I guess
that was
it's definitely
those
more on the
days.
Duke Nukem side as opposed to the Doom side, but I guess it has that gore from Doom.
But still,
they really lean into
Shadow Warrior made 3 games. Duke Nukem only made 1 game after that,
and forever sucked. Yeah,
and it wasn't good.
I've started playing Outriders.
Oh,
like Outriders that came out, was it last year or even the year before?
No, it was last year.
Yeah, the DLC just came out, and thanks to our friends at Bandai Namco, they sent me a code to go alongside the one that Matt had for review, so I could do some video stuff and even just try the game out because I kind of said to him, look, I'm keen to play. I haven't started the main game at all. I'm keen to give it a crack at one point. And they're like, oh, well, here, take a code, go for it. Like, okay, sweet. So like I'm working through it at the moment, and admittedly a few reviews and stuff have come along, so it's fallen on the back burner for now. But I've enjoyed what I've played so far. The interesting thing with the expansion now available is that if you want, you can just supercharge a character up to level 30, so you're good to go for the expansion. I didn't do that, and I'm kind of regretting it. I wish I'd mostly just so I could plow through that campaign, because the campaign, like the story, is a bit, well, totally forgettable is kind of the right word to use so far. So I would love to just have, like, I can just kind of I'll still play the main campaign because I want to kind of tick all that off before I jump into the World Slayer expansion. But I don't know, coming out at level 30 and then just completely stomping my way through all of it on the way to the end would have been fun, and then kind of take it seriously after that. And I want to jump in with the likes of Ryan and Max from the Pop Culturists and all that sort of stuff as well, because especially Ryan is really quite big on the game, so wouldn't mind a little bit of co-op in that space. The game that threw me off and made me think I'd only played the 4 games of the month was Ape Escape. I think I mentioned it last month because I'd tried it out.
Ape Escape.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because of the PlayStation Plus thing, but I've actually, like, I played a little bit in June, which is kind of what threw me off, but I've also been playing it through July as well, and like I'm still not done with the game, even though it's really, really short. Again, it's just one of those that I jumped back to, put another hour in, disappeared, and I'll eventually finish it off because I want to kind of see what it's all about. I'm not all that impressed. Like, it's clearly a product of its time. It was clearly, oh look, twin sticks and all that, but you know the way it's used is not right. Yeah, it doesn't age overly well, but I get it. Like, I can see like why people enjoyed it. I just don't have that nostalgia from the time, so it's not hitting in the same way. But yeah, I'll finish it up. The game that we discussed a few weeks ago, recognizing a certain milestone for the Player 2 YouTube channel.
Yes.
For anyone who's unaware, episode 1000 of Player 2 Plays dropped during the month of July, and Matto came up with the brilliant idea that I should celebrate it by platinuming My Name Is Mayo 3. So that's exactly what I did. That was 45 to... No, in the end, I think the video got really close to an hour. It was probably about 55 minutes of me just tapping a mayo jar. And what drove me mad is after I tapped on the mayo jar all the times that ticked off all those trophies, there was then... Because they're trying to... Some bullshit story that they're trying to spin. You then had to walk, I think it was 10 miles. It was me just holding down a trigger. I think it was just like R2 and just hold it down while the mayo jar walked. It was just kind of sliding or kind of bouncing along the terrain. Walked from... And it was just the same environments over and over and over, which added another 20 or so minutes to the playthrough. So, I think it'd be an entertaining Player 2 play. If anyone's not checked it out, and I wouldn't blame anyone at all for not checking it out, but it is episode 1000, so throw us a bone here. I'd actually suggest checking it out because I feel like it was a really entertaining playthrough because I really hit like rock bottom as I was playing that game.
I think the funny thing is about this 1000, we were talking about it. This was, I don't know, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
And we'll try to come up with ideas like, oh, we'll try to do something good, this, and I just gone, you know what would be funny if you just platinum My Name Is Mayo 3, and it's like, done. It was just, instead of something to do like do something more memorable, like, oh, what was your 1000? Oh, we played Gears of War. Oh, we played God of War. What'd you do? My Name Is Mayo 3. Like, why? Why not?
Because cheap, dirty, shitty platinum is exactly how you want to play this. But yeah, I think like I really sunk to rock bottom in terms of like my mental state during that episode. So I think it might be a really entertaining one for people to check out. Like, you know, there's a combination of trying to engage with the person on the other side of the camera, you know, whoever's watching or whatever, but also just the inner ramblings that start to come out when you've been tapping on a mayo jar 7,000 times and making it walk 10 miles. Like you really go to some dark places. So I think it was fairly
like
entertaining.
Torture almost.
It did feel a bit torturous. Okay. I think I described it that way a couple times.
So okay, what we want you to do is just tap this button 10,000 times, and then walk 10,000 miles.
At least when you're tapping the mayo jar, because of the different trophies, like it's like they've got this story that they're trying to tell, but like you have to change the outfits on the mayo jar. And so, like, when a trophy pings, you then have to jump across and, you know, jump into the menu, switch it over. So at least it's kind of giving you something to think about. Like, okay, I've got to like mash it 300 times, which is a pretty quick and easy number to hit. Hit it 300 times, boom, there's the trophy. Okay, now I jump over this, and I can I'm optimizing stuff in my head as I go. But the walking bit, which was me just holding either a button or a trigger, whatever it was, I can't remember now. I've tried to push it out of my mind. That was insane. Like that was a bad place that my head was in. So anyway, the less said about My Name Is Mayo 3, the better. We'll throw across to a game that apparently everyone has just fallen in love with, Stray. The game about a cat in a little robot city is pretty damn good. I wasn't meant to be the one reviewing it. It was meant to be with Tim Henderson, but some kind of difficult circumstances on the PR side, a little delay to the code meant that he wasn't able to take it anymore. So I in a last ditch thing, kind of took it on and tried to get the thing done in time for review, which I did. And please go check out the review on the Player 2 website, people watching and or listening. But it's pretty great. Like, I like cats. I have a cat. I'm more of a dog person, so I don't think I'm kind of getting swayed. Like, I think there's some people on the internet who are just losing their mind because maybe they're cat people. And they love the idea of, oh, it's a cute kitty, that sort of stuff. Now, it's a cute cat. I totally agree. And I like cats a lot. But I don't think I've fallen into that trap because of that love of it. Am I saying that my review is better than everyone else's? Maybe. It's certainly less biased. But anyway, look, it's still a pretty great game in its own right. It's kind of a bit of a PS1, PS2 era sort of throwback in some ways, like the stealth, for example. You hide in cardboard boxes.
Oh, Metal Gear
Familiar?
Solid style.
Metal Gear Solid. I even just dropped an exclamation mark in a bracket into the review just to make sure it was crystal clear for people who didn't realize, like, connect the dots when I was explaining it. The platforming isn't platforming per se. It's like you want to get to here, the little X prompt appears that says jump to this, and so you press it and it kind of just laser jumps over. Well, not, but like it's just point to point rather than you actually having to execute a jump, that sort of thing. Which is again kind of old school, I guess, in kind of its design, but it's very vertical. It looks fantastic. The story's more impactful than I thought it would be early on, especially towards the end. When things start to come to a head, and you can maybe even see where things are going and yeah, how it is. I won't say anything because it's a short game and a lot of people are still new to it. But yeah, pretty damn good game. But I guess set your expectations that while there's a lot of people talking about it and speaking very highly of the game, it's not actually doing anything that's specifically overly new. It's actually quite old and dated in some respects. But what they do well, so it makes it pretty enjoyable. Again, thanks to our friends at Bandai Namco locally, I've been playing Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. Klonoa was like an old Sega, I think. No, sorry, not Sega. It might have been on some of the old Sega platforms. But old platformer. There was a Wii remake of the original, and they've kind of bundled that with the sequel game together. Again, I'm playing it for review, but we received the code day one, so I'm not rushing, considering I've had other embargoes to hit, including the last game that I'll talk. One of the last couple of games I'll talk about. It's again, I don't maybe a bit like Ape Escape. I don't have the history, so I'm just like, nah. So far, anyway. I've played and finished the first game. I'm ready to jump into the second one, so we'll see how that goes. It's got that really high pitched squeaky voice acting for weird anthropomorphic cat thing, and like a weird little blue orb thing that follows it, but then transformed into something else. And also,
Navi.
I wish it was Navi. Navi would have been far more tolerable. So, yeah.
Wow, I thought nothing would be more tolerable than Navi saying, "Hey,
Navi. Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. I don't want to listen to that. Navi, go away."
Yeah, no, I'd take Navi any day of the week. Obviously, there's Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak, and expect a review for that at some point. But again, that's kind of a bit of a slower burn, that one. And the final game that, by the time this goes live, I can talk about now, is Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town, because I love myself a farming sim. The game did come to Switch last year, but now there's a PS4 version, so I'm back at it. And there's trophies, so that's kind of appealing as well.
Wait, how come you can't talk about it if it came on the Switch last year?
Because they're putting out the PS4 version now, and there's kind of an embargo on the whole thing, like reviews and all those sorts of things. So by the time the episode goes live, the review embargo's up, and so I can talk about it. So I guess content-wise, people go check out the review on player2.net.au. There's a Player 2 Plays and a review discussion between myself and fellow farming sim lover Ryan Betson that will be there for people to kind of delve into if they want to hear all about the farming sims and stuff. I won't kind of wander too much into it. I spoke about the game in depth whenever, I don't know, Feb, March, whenever it came out last year to the Switch. But I will say that the tech hiccups that the game had on the Switch version just aren't present on the PS4 version. I think just a little bit of extra oomph meant that some of the frame rate drops and all that sort of stuff is just not, and the load time issues that they had in a few cases is just not there.
No open doors.
Yeah, I can open doors as much as I want, but they close it behind them. So,
well, that's good. Otherwise, that would be a disaster if that was the case.
Exactly. So, what do you see yourself playing over the course of next month?
Well, probably all the games I mentioned, minus Road 96 and Valhalla.
Yep.
So I'll get back onto.
So you're gonna stick with Ezio?
Chores. Yeah, I'll stick with Ezio, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Chores.
Yep.
And go from there. I think I downloaded another game. I can't remember what it was. Might have been Yakuza Zero. I might give that a go. I'm
real close to trying Yakuza. I found myself in a few conversations about it recently. I've got a whole bunch on PlayStation anyway.
Well, as I said, but the remake ones are on I'll say
Yeah,
I might be on
I think
PlayStation.
I've got the Kiwami games
Kiwami?
on PlayStation, so I've just got to fire up at some point. I think I was in a chat with a few people on Twitter recently, and they kind of it's like, like I want to get started. What is the recommended order for this thing? And
Probably
people
one.
knowing that I'm a JRPG fan are kind of popping up saying, well, play with, Like a Dragon, because it's kind of a real reference to, Dragon Quest. There's people talking about the old ones because of the narrative order, and I kind of would rather follow the narrative order. If I know that there's a nice, juicy JRPG kind of down the line for me, then that's going to coax me to actually go on and play it, especially if I'm enjoying the early games. So yeah, I think I might be joining you very soon on the Yakuza bandwagon. We'll see how we go.
One of us.
Yeah, there's a one of us component to the whole thing. Anything else you see yourself playing?
No, not really. I think that's it. I think, like I said, got a lot of spare time now. Valhalla's done, so
what about
these
a
games...
juicy, tempting indie title coming out this month called Cult of the Lamb?
What the hell is that?
Oh, you haven't played you haven't seen Cult of the Lamb? No, you've definitely seen it. It's been
no, wait, I think I do. I have seen it.
It's the sheep
that
kind of builds up, literally builds up a cult. Yeah.
That wasn't the Devolver Digital one, was it?
Yeah, it's part of Devolver. Devolver's
okay, yeah, it was. Okay, now does hey, I do remember that. I just don't know what. Doug? Hey, Doug.
Doug, if you're watching it or listening, we might come reaching out about review discussions. So stay tuned. But that comes out August 11th, so I'm really keen on that one.
That's
personally.
close.
Yeah. 2 Point Campus comes out. Remember there was 2 Point Hospital a couple of years ago. It was kind of the old theme hospital style piss take.
There is another one. I can't remember what it's called. It's the Power Wash one, Simulator.
Oh yeah, I've downloaded Power Wash Simulator as well. I can't wait to try
that.
I thought, at least we'll play 2 players, but maybe...
Is it co-op? Probably not co-op. If it was co-op, then we could do a co-op of us pressure washing.
Just pressure washing everything.
Everything. Damn, what a shame.
That'd be an efficient way to do it. Co-op would be great, especially if you could just turn on each other and blast each other with the Power Wash.
Just hose you in the face. That'd be great.
Smash them with a Karcher.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to be too far. But okay, I'm down.
Saints Row's out, but previews got me a little bit iffy about it. And that's about it.
Oh, no. I was looking forward to it too. That does concern me when people say, oh, I don't know about that. They're like, oh, no.
Any others at all?
Right. No, that's it. I can keep adding things like Saints Row. I'm excited for Saints Row, but when people say, oh, it doesn't look good, that's concerning. But who knows?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, maybe the review embargo or reviews when they come out will change my mind on Saints Row. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll wrap things up there then. On that note, I guess we've got a few more games that we know we're going to be playing, and we'll see how things go from there in terms of the backlogs and all that sort of stuff. If you enjoyed this episode of Patched, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more episodes of Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Awesome stuff there. Please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website is player2au. And until next week, I don't know what we'll talk about. There's plenty of news popping off all over the place. So we might dredge something up. We might do multiple news pieces, or maybe something big will drop in the next 7 days. We'll see how we go. We're getting close to the busy end of the year. So if you've got games in your backlog, start smashing them.
October's coming.
Oh man, winter is coming style. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but unlike, it's not going to take 24 seasons to actually get to winter. October is coming,
and then November arrives with God of War, so it ends well. Unlike Game of Thrones.
Yes, that is true.
It's a good ending as opposed to the shit one.
Unless God of War just somehow has a massive slump, which it won't.
Holy shit.
I reckon we can put that down there. They're not. Otherwise, the outrage of dickhead fans having a go at poor developers and people that work there for no reason whatsoever. Because, this game's not as good as it was with the last one. No one's complaining about the cover of it, when it looks exactly the same as the first one. Just all they have is their winter gear on.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I don't care. I
Fuck
could
the
not
haters.
care less about it.
And on that note, everyone, enjoy. We'll be ranting more about God of War in the future. We'll see you next week.